right now I'm going to start with the sides, but there's one more thing I would like to mention about. As you can see, I have a drywall cut out to a certain height, and the tile work actually will go higher. We're going to tile actually around the window slightly, so the tile work will end about 4 or 5 inches above the window. But the goal is to actually have only the tile board have only present in the main sections of the walls, but doesn't have to be entirely. The goal is to have a nice transition from the tile to our drywall in the bathroom. And the tile board, because of it textured, is very hard to finish, so we never run the tile board farther than the actually tile work is gonna end. I'm always going with the drywall slightly inside, few inches, and then it gets covered with a tile somewhere here. Same situation on the top. The most fragile area is about 4 or 5 feet high from the bottom of the shower. So if we have this replaced, the rest will get any moisture or water. The bottom, usually this is where the problem starts. So I'm gonna finish over here with a new underlayment. I have this cut out to fit the 5 feet board. I've measured from the lip to the top, and it's gonna be 5 feet. And the sides, like I said, the tile work goes only slightly farther. So do it that way, and I know you'll be satisfied with the final results. And let's start from the side. So yeah, I have my measuring tape. I'm double checking the height. We have 60 inches here, and we have 60 and a quarter here, so there will be small gap that I will later fill with the waterproofing and cover with the tape. Here you can see this kind of weird cut that I have, but I have to do it in order to lift the old tub. When removing the old tub, I have to notch it because this has to be exposed in order to lift the old tub. And now I'm not gonna just cut this straight, because we're not gonna have enough surface to hold this block. This block is actually screwed and holds. It's our support for transition. So I'm gonna cut actually the board to this shape, right? It's gonna be a little bit plain, but this is what I'm gonna do. So I will actually measure from the corner to the farther distance. We have 29 and 3/4, so I'm gonna cut 5/8, so I have a 1/8 of an inch of the space, so it can nicely fit. And then I will notch this separately. We're gonna have here 29 and 29 over here. The original side, depending. This I'm always trying to cut precisely to the level. Whatever I'm cutting, I'm putting level, doing mark, and cutting out with the oscillating device. Walls often gets unleveled, so I'm always checking if the level. In this case, this one is in level and this one is in level. In the cases when, let's say, we have this wall uneven, I'm cutting, of course, board in an angle to uneven wall. The goal is to have one side always nice leveled, and we're cutting to unleveled side. So I'm gonna measure this, make some notes, and I'm gonna cut the board in just a few seconds. So to cut the boards, we can use the special knife designed to it. For the product that I'm using, we just use utility knife, and the way the board breaks, it's fairly simple. It pretty much will crack along the line, and it's done. So later I'm gonna have this nicely even it out with the knife, so there's no things like this sticking out, because it might kind of complicate the installation. So we want to make sure that we have this side, the cut side, as flat as possible. So this is this product, and the Durac cement board cuts similar way. To cut the cement board, I often use a grinder it produced a little bit of a dust, but I'm doing this on the outside and wearing the dust mask and the grinder with the diamond blade. This way we have a nice clean cut. This product is a little bit easier to work with, and yes, so this is it. Applying the liquid nails, and especially corners will be very important. And let me see how this piece of board will fit. Okay, this is the first piece. Okay, so it looks like this is good fit. Here we have a little bit bigger opening. Maybe I cut it originally a little bit too much, but what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna put fiberglass tape that I'm always using on my projects and paint it with a waterproofing membrane. Also, here we have the blocks that nicely hold those pieces, so this is not an issue, but most of the times we're trying to go a little bit closer than I did in this case. So this is this side. The next step will be for me to put the screws. Here we have the bottom. This is the notch for our screw that we have to put, and the shim to adjust the tub when installing the tub. This space, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna also fill it with a smaller piece of board, and then fill it with some silicone, this lid. So it's still to come. And yeah, next side next. Okay, for that side right now I'm gonna, of course, have to cut out the holes for the valve. And I'm always measuring this from the corner. So in this case I'm gonna drill the hole in our underlayment for 13 5/8. Will be centered from the side, and from the bottom I'm measuring from the lip. We have 4 1/8, and to the valve from the bottom I'm gonna do a rectangular cutout. We have 12.5 to 15 inches, and measuring from that side we have 12.5 and 14 and 15 inches. So the number was also 15. The goal is, when cutting out around the valve, they will come with a template that kind of shows us how deep the valve is supposed to be installed. I'm always removing this piece because it doesn't really help me at this point. So I'm always cutting out the board the way I have the screws exposed. Those are actually screw holes that will hold the trim later, so we want to make sure that the board goes to the screw holes, not farther, not covering the screw. Also, some of the valves will have the shut-off valves. Shut-off valves that allows us to shut off the water in order to replace the cartridge. So we have to also make sure that we do not cover those. So just look at the specification of the valve that you're working with and make sure to not cover too much. In this case, this is a basic model Moen, nothing really fancy, and we have just rectangular notch for the valve. So let me work on this, and you will see it in just a moment being put in. Okay, so here what I have the marks. This is actually where the faucet pipe will be sticking out. This is the small notch for this shim that I had to add in order to fit the tub correctly, and this is the cutout for our valve. This board has been already shortened to 31 inches, and for that I'm going to use this oscillating device, and to cut the square round holes I will just use the regular drill bit to drill the hole. and this hole will be drilled with just regular bit. So yeah, so this is it. Stay tuned, and this is what we do. I think it says it all. So yeah, we're on a project here in Lawrenceville, and yes, working on a bathroom. Stay tuned, and I'm gonna work on installing those boards in just a few seconds. Okay, the last piece of underlayment, the one for the valve. We have the hole drilled, everything is nicely figured. The liquid nail's been applied, and everything nicely works. Same situation here. I have a little bit bigger gap, but I'm going to show you what to do in such situations. And this is it. One other important information, please check where you actually have the pipes from the valve, water, cold water, hot water, because you don't want to make any holes in the pipes. You can put metal piece to cover the pipes, whatever pipes appear to go through the stud, if it goes through the stud, or just remember where the pipe is. And you should be good. And nicely tighten this with the screws. And the next step will be to waterproof it. Waterproofing will be also a very important part of the project. It always is. One of the most important parts. And I'll chat with you about it in a moment. Let me attach the screws over here, and well, I'll keep you updated. Alright, so I have all the boards in place. Each time we're working with this type of a tub, here we have kind of notch hole. So what I'm gonna do over here, I have this little piece of the board, and I'm actually gonna put some silicone. It's too small to nail it or screw it down. I'm putting this to kind of fill that space slightly more, and on the other side, same situation. I have the small piece. I'm gonna actually silicone it. Over here. So now we have those kind of filled, and the next step for me will be to clean the edge of the tub here. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to apply 100% silicone in the gap where the towel board meets the tub. This is tiny bitty gap, tiny bitty space, but I'm gonna fill that with a silicone, and it will nicely seal it to the point where there's no any gap. So this is gonna be done around the tub. Okay, so I'm ready to apply the silicone in our transition. So what I'm gonna do, this gap I will fill with the silicone as well, but now I'm pretty much filling the gap that we have. Yes, cloth will be good. I'm filling the gap that we have between the tub, and also gap over here where we did this small piece. It also gets sealed with a silicone. also here where we have the notch for our board, putting this silicone. This is what I'm always doing in a transition. The blocks that we did makes this wall extremely durable. There's no any movement, so the silicone seal should really honestly never break, because there's no really movement that might happen. Here we have a little bit bigger gap against this side, because the edge of the tub is actually slightly crooked. Okay, so it looks like this side is done, and now here we have this area. I'm gonna also put some additional waterproofing over here later, but for now I'm covering this with this product. So this should be fine for now. I'm going to fill this gap as well. For the bottom part, for the space that we have over there, what I will do, I'm going to put some fiberglass tape and waterproofing membrane, so it will nicely fill the entire space. I'll show you this in just a moment. But silicone, like I said, I'm using here to seal the bottom part nicely. It's pretty, like I said, messy part, but now you can see this silicone has filled all the gap, the entire space, all the way around. Yeah, the camera is not the best one. I probably need to get a new one soon. But yes, so this is kind of a thing that is also important. Right now we have this, everything is secured, everything is tight, everything is the way it should be. The next step will be waterproofing. We're going to waterproof corners and some other sections. Okay, so I'm at the point where I am installing the tile board for the floor, and always what we do, we use latex modified thinset with the extra strength to bond with the plywood, and pretty much always a 1/4 inch underlayment. And in this case I'm telling you about it because as I'm previously mentioned, I'm going to put additional thinset under the lip of the tub. So this gap that we've had that appeared after leveling the tub gets filled with a thinset at the edge, so it's gonna make nice additional support to the side, and all of this transition layer will get covered with a tile, so nothing will be visible after the tile work is done. Sometimes if we have to level the tub to the point where actually it appears to be higher than the level of the finished floor, I would recommend to use thicker underlayment. We have 1/2 inch available, we have 1/4 inch available, so we can use thicker underlayment and it will bring the level of the floor higher. There are different scenarios. You should be able to figure the best solution for you basing on what needs to be done. So this got nicely filled. And no need to put any more. Now we apply thinset to the floor. And we're gonna put quarter inch underlayment. And later, on top of this, we're gonna tile it. We're gonna screw it down or nail it down to the wooden subfloor. So it's gonna be nice, the floor for the tile work. Additionally, in this project, I have to level the floor because the level itself, the floor is kind of crooked. One of the joists that goes through the center is lower, and we have a depression in the center of the main floor. And the last thing that we did was to fill the space over here on the bottom where we've been leveling tub with the thinset. What I did additionally, I leveled the floor. The floor was completely out of level, making a tile installation on such surface pretty much impossible. And what we did, we poured leveling compound on the floor. It starts, you can see, you still see a little bit of the tile board against the wall because it was the highest section of the floor, and everything was sloping to the center and then going up again. So we have all this section filled with the leveling compound. What happened, the level of the floor, of course, raised, and here we have still a little bit lower than the level of the hardwood, but just a little bit. So the tile work will stick out about 1/4 inch higher. So thank you for watching. Check other videos from this project, and I'm pretty sure you will find this interesting and helpful when working on your own job. See you on the next one. Thank you.